Hi guys, welcome to the School of Bass podcast. Today I have a very special guest, Aditya Pushkarna. Adi sir, कैसे हैं आप?
कट रही है जिंदगी क्वारंटाइन में वी आर सो ब्लेस्ड टू बी eating, sleeping, watching TV, and things have been dire outside. Things have been really bad for some people. I can only be grateful to God कि हम लोग मतलब we have music. हम लोग घर पे बैठे बैठे अपना म्यूजिक कर रहे हैं, बातें कर रहे हैं, whatever. We have food to eat. We have shelter. So just happy about it mostly. बाकी तो उसका तो कोविड का तो कोई क्या कर सकता है. We can only be safe and only pray that it all goes away in good time.
Definitely. And you were mentioning at the moment you were mentioning right before we started recording this about your channel, Facebook channel.
So it's basically something with a few friends we've come up with. It's called Mix Mumbai Musicians Info Exchange Mumbai. So the idea was to basically put together relevant information for musicians today. Try and find some self-help articles about mental health, about how you can work at home, and different things like what can help musicians in Bombay and outside Bombay as well. We were trying to figure out some charities that will help musicians. There's a charity run by a friend called Prince Mullah, Artists for Artists, which has been providing ration to struggling artists in this time. So basically, it started from there. We started promoting that charity on our page. Then we came up with a few tutorials. We have a series of tutorials called Simply Done. So basically, trying to make a page or a hub or an adda, as we call it, for musicians to come hang out and see. So it's still developing slowly, and we've been trying to do some tutorials. अभी जैसे कल मैंने एक ट्यूटोरियल कराया. घर पे बैठे बैठे काम करते करते अब समझ में आने लग गया कि you are resting a bit because घर पे कुछ करते रहो नहीं, you are just resting and resting. तो तो मैं कल बैठा हुआ था. कल नहीं, a few days ago I had to do something for a friend.
हाँ.
और करते तो मुझे रियलाइज हुआ कि मतलब कि अरे यार मतलब those tricks and those small little things that you do with your production or which are very instinctive to you otherwise.
Yeah.
Suddenly याद करने पड़ रहे हैं यार ये मैं करता था, मतलब I had another way of doing this कैसे. So suddenly I started brushing up on a lot of these tricks that I used to employ. I've been employing for a very, very long time, and which I have let go of and traded them for like newer tricks or newer ways to do things. But I remember those old tricks were really good. मतलब जैसे जैसे उम्र बढ़ती जाती है, जैसे जैसे आप काम और करते जाते हो, कभी कभी मतलब passion is a different story, but sometimes you fall in that loop of convenience. You find more convenient ways to do things.
हाँ.
And convenience not never, but hardly ever inspires you to do something new or something good. It's just convenient.
हाँ.
So I started going back to those old tricks, and I've started making small little tutorials.
अच्छा.
First one will come out soon, which is basically trying to remember all those old tips and tricks and trying to share it with people.
Acha, you also, what I know about you from talking to you and off the internet, of course, is there's this thing about convenience that you have mentioned again and again whenever I've also talked to you, that you have an issue with getting comfortable at a spot, like how you moved from Delhi to Bombay. You kind of felt there was this feeling of comfort that I can work with anybody here and everybody here, and now I don't know what to do, so I need to challenge myself. Are you still doing that with yourself? Are you still challenging yourself on a daily basis?
Yeah, I am. So I have a few friends around जो मतलब constantly मतलब मुझे शर्मिंदा करते रहते हैं. मतलब अब जानबूझ के नहीं, basically just by looking at them, just by seeing their passion for their job and everything. So I've had this habit of trying to put myself in situations where I feel a little what do you call it, I feel a little bad about myself कि भाई तू बहुत ही ज्यादा यूजलेस है.
हाँ.
कुछ तो और करना पड़ेगा.
हाँ.
And I've constantly tried to get into difficult situations myself, technologically and musically, and taken up projects in my life जो शायद मेरे बूते के बाहर, मेरे what do you call it, मेरे skill set के बाहर है और मेरी education के बाहर है. So that I can teach myself and learn from the musicians that I'm working with, learn from the people that I'm working with, and try and be good at it. मतलब basically मुझे लाइफ में अंदर ऐसा एक टाइम ऐसा चाहिए लाइफ के अंदर कि हाँ भाई मैंने करा हुआ ये सब आता है मेरे को.
हाँ.
अब अब वो unfortunately I've never had a formal education in music, or I regret it, but also it's helped me in a way where I've learned how to teach myself.
Right.
So the one learning I think is very important for all of us is to learn how to teach yourself and learn how to learn. Basically, you need to be absorbent, and you need to have some space in you to learn the material and imbibe it and utilize it. जैसे मैं जो अपने दोस्तों को बता रहा था, जैसे समीरुद्दीन है हमारे दोस्त, क्या है वो, मतलब वो थोड़ा मैड जीनियस टाइप के आदमी है, वो रोज ही कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा करता है कि देख के शर्म आती है कि मतलब कि यार ये कैसे इतना काम कर सकता है. एंड स्पेशली इन द टाइम्स ऑफ कोविड, like when everybody's sitting at home and everybody's doing their dishes and sweeping and swabbing and trying to cook and trying to feed themselves, वो आदमी वो सब करने के बावजूद वो रोज बैठ के कुछ ना कुछ एक नया तिकड़म करता है. एंड मतलब वी हैव अ लिटिल व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप, वील शेयर इट, एंड आई फील लाइक यार ये मतलब आदमी को शर्मिंदा करने वाला कोई काम ही नहीं है क्या? मतलब इतनी बेइज्जती कौन करता है किसी की, मतलब बैठे बैठे.
अच्छा.
तो वो बेइज्जती. तनुज इज अनदर गाय. तनुज टिक्कू इज अनदर गाय. He also keeps doing something marvelous every now and then you say कि मैं भी सीखूंगा, and then few days later you realize कि नहीं, तुम्हारे बस की नहीं है बेटा. तुम वो करो जो तुम्हें आता है.
So how do you develop yourself when you're saying you try to teach yourself? तो आपके कोई favorite resources हैं या sources हैं, या आप improvise करते हो in terms of how to where to study from essentially?
See, YouTube today is the biggest learning source. Like it's the biggest teacher today. If there's so much material out there that you can learn from. And like I'm really happy. I've spoken to you about this also. When you started School of Bass, especially in Hindi.
Yes.
ठीक है, वो and as you know that I have a like a deep underlying ऐसा love for bass players, right? मतलब good bass players are something that I just look for. Me in a band, I can deal with anything but a bad bass player. I need a so, School of Bass, when it started, and especially in Hindi, there are so many talented boys out there. The only problem is, they don't have enough exposure to music, which is very bass oriented, where bass can shine as an instrument, that you can see, that you can look at other aspects of bass playing, and how other, like, different grooves, different ways of bass playing, and only because there is so much other music available to you to listen to, that you never come across music which can teach you about bass playing, right?
Right.
When you started it, I was really happy. So YouTube, like, you started a channel, there are other channels. The issue is to basically find relevant information. Issue is to find relevant channels, because there are so many. The worst thing that I find about YouTube is that there are so many tutorials that tell you learn how to play chords in 15 minutes.
हाँ, वो तो clickbaits हैं. That is just so that you can click on them.
हाँ, but most people just start thinking. मैं आज ही एक बड़ा एक famous pop song है, मतलब सुन रहा था मैं, मतलब घर पे स्टूडियो. आज मैं I've come to the studio after a long time today. I just switched on everything and I was just ऐसा again enjoying the space. I was listening to this song, and at some point there is a major 5 playing, but there's a riser playing behind it which has a minor third.
हाँ.
Right, so it's a major 5 and a minor 5 playing together, and I was like, shit. But this is what happens. Like, this is what happens when we have great tools today, right? We have so much that we can do with our production, because Logic has come up with a new update which is like radical. There's Ableton Live. People use Cubase. There are sites like Splice and Loop Masters and Cymatic, and you've got these amazing sound packs and everything. But having your tools at your disposal does not mean you know how to use them. Right. And at this point in time, finding good knowledge, relevant knowledge, is very essential, and YouTube is a great help. The only thing is we need to find the right channel and the right people to basically go and learn from.
Right. I mean, there's another thing that I've been doing these days is studying a lot from Udemy, and on Udemy, of course, you have to pay a very small fee, 350 rupees, 400 rupees, something like that. But I've come across some really genuine courses. Like, I didn't know how to use Premiere Pro. I didn't know how to use After Effects. And I needed to learn all that to make my videos better, so that I can put a fretboard, I can put graphics, I can put things which are important. So I think वो भी एक बहुत अच्छा, it's a very reliable source. And it's none of that is like 15 minutes chords and all that. It is very specific. They will actually teach you stuff. But again, you have to look for a good course and pay a small fee of 400, 500, whatever it is. I mean, whatever the course is rated at. So I was trying to understand from you that this whole challenging aspect that everybody's inspiring you constantly around you. आपको लोग व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे तंग कर रहे हैं, आपको लोग फेसबुक पे तंग कर रहे हैं अपनी अच्छी अच्छी कॉम्पोजिशन डाल के, और कह रहे हैं हम झाड़ू भी लगा रहे हैं, कंपोज भी कर रहे हैं साथ साथ, और तुम क्या
हाँ
कर रहे हो. तो
हाँ.
I wanted to ask you, like, recently, last thing you did was Jamin, and before that, where we were working together, and before that was Hustle, right?
Hustle, yes.
So was Hustle something which you were already comfortable with making those kind of loops, that kind of music? Were you comfortable making that already, or did you learn on the job?
No, see, hip hop has been a part of my life. Like back in my when I used to DJ at a club, and I had this wonderful friend of mine called Kunal. Kunal was a hip hop DJ, house DJ,
Hmm.
and Kunal. But I used to love hip hop, but Kunal made me, um, you know, understand and love club hip hop a bit more. And so, but you know, when you're producing, you have a job, and like unfortunately, the और एक्चुअली फॉर्चुनेटली हम लोग ये काम कर रहे हैं, पैसा कमा सकते हैं, और अनफॉर्चुनेटली जब पैसे मिलते हैं तो हमें वो काम करना पड़ता है जो हमें बोला जाता है करने को.
हाँ.
सो देयर इज दैट लिटिल पुश एंड पुल विद इट कि अच्छा कि कभी किसी दिन यू हैव अ गुड डे, यू एंजॉय व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, देयर आर बैड डेज व्हेन यू थिंक यार पैसे मिल रहे हैं, करना तो पड़ेगा.
हाँ.
So, but during those club days, I really loved hip hop. Then I was out of that scene, and when Hustle came in again, it became an opportunity for me to revisit my hip hop days. But the best part about Hustle was that I did not have to get into that whole beat making process and all of this myself. I had friends who came on board
Acha.
as beat makers, and they so there was Ashish Zakaria, there was a boy called Ritik,
Mm-hmm.
there's Saish, and there is Shashwat.
Right.
So 4 of us were there on the project, and they were making the beats and all that. All I had to do was shout at them and make it better. So that was more that it was finding the right vibe. It was finding what the lyrics are saying, what the beat can do, and trying to find a bridge, because a lot of rappers have this sound in their, you know. So unfortunately, हम ज़्यादा originality अभी भी नहीं है, मतलब in terms of lyrics शायद होगी, but in the others, the different size of beats that we are making, the kind of that we are picking, we hear a lot of music and then we try to take from them and so my whole idea was that through this process maybe I'd be able to find a couple of sounds here and there. So then eventually 2 or 3 tracks that we did in between, like a track which I did myself during the beginning of the series was a very popish. You wouldn't call the beat hip hop, but it was a very popish pop hip hop sort of a beat, which actually stood out for me, and it made everybody get up and dance and like this. Then there was another track which we did was it was a little more rockish in nature, rap on top. I wouldn't call it Linkin Parkish, but yeah, somewhere in that sound. Suman Shetty, who works with me, was on that beat. Like he did parts of it. Bhushan came, played guitars on it. I did parts of it.
Huh.
So the whole idea came together. And then there was a track that happened in the end which Sumant made, the guy who won Hustle ultimately. Sumant made a beat for it, and that again wasn't really hip hop.
Huh.
It was like your conventional hip hop beat that you would hear, a rap beat that you would hear.
Right.
It was slightly different, and then there was rapping on top of it. So I was trying to, through Hustle, basically, I tried to do hip hop or rap music a little differently than what I have been hearing. I'm pretty sure what we try to do must have happened before somewhere else also.
Right.
But again, you can try. So we tried. Yeah, Hustle was a good experience. I loved some of the writing that was done on that show. A great experience. Vikrant, the showrunner on the show, was an amazing guy, and his passion for rap was outstanding. Lalit Sharma, the guy who produced the show, amazing again. And again, of course, we had a good panel of judges. Raftar understands the writing really well. He's got a different understanding of writing completely. Raja Kumari, Nuclea's whole idea about sound is completely different. So he comes from a he's got his own genre, right? He does his own thing,
Huh.
like desi trap or desi dance beats and all that stuff, which is great. So overall, yeah. So basically, trying to find
So Hustle basically so happened that because you had that DJing background that you were a DJ for a while, and then that kind of became a bonus for you to be able to just sink into the music so easily. And
yeah, I love that music. Matlab, there are no two ways about it. I love hip hop. There is, matlab, I sometimes I feel that I should have done a little bit of more hip hop in my life than anything else.
well, that's pretty good. So, in terms of like being a musical director now, and I don't know if you started with the same thought when you started your career that I'm going to become a musical director, run TV shows like or web series like this, like Hustle, Arrived, work for The Voice. So, did you think about being a musical director when you started your career, or it so happened that you were a good music producer and you had a live experience and you just combined the both together?
I'm not sure. It just sort of fell in my lap. Like, and I remember when I was back in Delhi, it was all about production. I didn't even know, like, that you could program. I just ran out to Delhi because I want to do something in music, and I had no idea what I would do. And I started playing keyboards, and then somebody told me that you can program, and then I taught myself how to program, and then kept programming, and then I
How
had
did
this.
you that time? How did you teach yourself? Did you find something on the internet or VHS? What was it?
No, actually, it's very funny. Even now, matlab, if I get a piece of equipment, I rarely touch the manual. Uh,
You don't touch the manual, you mean?
no, it just is very instinctive to me.
Okay.
Even that time, matlab, I just, people talk about God gifts. I don't think I have a God gift for great music, but I do have a God-given gift for technology. Maybe I can take a piece of equipment and understand what it does and make it do what it's supposed to do.
How did you
So
explore your first ever software? You just started pressing buttons and seeing what's happening?
no, I remember the first software that I used was this software called WinCake. It was on a 486 computer, and it was very, very, very trashy. It was stupid. It just had a MIDI interface. So you had to connect it to your keyboard or your sound module with MIDI in and MIDI out and like program. So when you stop, it will like take good 3-4 seconds because you've played something and it will store on a floppy disk, like the big 5-inch ones, the really floppy ones.
And how long did it record for? That big 5-inch floppy disk?
You could do 8 bars in one go basically. So,
How?
but it was all MIDI data. It was all very small data, and it wasn't really like out of the box. The first piece of software, but I think that I actually started working on where I actually programmed a full song and used it professionally was Cakewalk.
Huh.
And Cakewalk then didn't last too long. It just lasted like say a couple of months because it was a little cumbersome. And then eMagic Logic was there, and it was available for Windows.
Logic 4 that time.
I think yeah,
Yeah.
and somebody gave me a copy of it, and I worked on it again. It lasted another 3 months, and then finally I landed on Nuendo One,
Yeah.
and I was yeah, this seems like because I could integrate all my hardware. Like I had, so I would only use it as a MIDI sequencer, and I had all this hardware that I would get my sounds from. So and I had a Tascam, a small sound card. It was a blue sound card. It had a controller. I forgot the model number, but beautiful. That was my first, I think, experience with the software and computers.
Hmm.
I didn't even know you had to like shut down a Windows computer. I would just in the beginning.
तार निकाल दो.
तार निकाल दो basically. But off करता था मैं. Somebody told me कि भाई मतलब
It's not a TV.
exactly. So I had to teach myself all of that also.
Acha, you can run all heavy duty softwares, but when it came to switching off and switching on a computer, that wasn't there.
Yeah, no, but I learned pretty quickly. मतलब I did it say all of 4-5 times, and then
हाँ.
some they said भाई क्या कर रहा है? Oh,
Acha Adi, so there's this also, talking about comfort right now at the moment. You mentioned that we are feeling good, we are at home, we are able to feed ourselves, relax, rest, work at the same time. So whenever I've talked to you and I've seen you talk to a lot of people, and I've also seen you that there is some monetary aspect that you're very, very concerned about at all times, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. You have always told people that before you figure your art out, figure your money out, and you just have to tell me and think about where will you earn money from that you have come to this city. So when you came here, did you have focus on money a lot, that I have to have this much money and start investing so that I'm safe financially and then grow from there? Or was it something you developed with some mistakes you made, or you went broke? What happened exactly that you're so proper about money now?
See, I was never smart with money. I still am not.
Hmm.
That's why I give this advice to. So when you know the fuck ups that you've made yourself,
Huh.
or where you've been stupid, you try to tell other people, don't be stupid with this stuff. I have been stupid with it, and I know what it can lead to. But when I came to Bombay, I didn't really have to worry because fortunately in Delhi I was doing really well. I bought myself a small little house in Bombay before I moved.
Yeah.
Like around 3 years before I moved to Bombay, I had a house here. So I didn't have to worry about going and paying rent.
Yes.
So I knew that I could just make the move the day I wanted to.
And that's all the earnings you had from Delhi and all that? Or
Yeah. All the earnings from Delhi. Delhi was very kind to me. I had like some really, really good people that I worked for, and I had like I was always busy. In fact, in the last 6 months of my being in Delhi, I actually had to stop taking up work so I could like finish up everything
Yeah.
and could move here finally.
Right.
And so Delhi had been kind. Delhi gave me a lot of money. Delhi gave me a lot of experience. I could buy a house. I had a small little car. I drove it down to Bombay. I had decent enough gear. I didn't have to worry about like अच्छा अभी जाऊंगा तो लोग बोलेंगे कंप्यूटर है क्या भाई. So I didn't have to worry about that. More than that, I had friends in Bombay, like friends like Santosh Nair, Saibus, and these guys were always at. So the funniest thing is the day I came to Bombay. So I went to Jaipur. I stayed there for a few days, and that's my hometown. And then I think around 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, I left one day, and the next morning I was here in Bombay. I slept through the day, and in the evening, I called my friend Saibu at Joshua. And so I had called Saibu a few days before I moved to Bombay, and I said कि मैं बॉम्बे आऊँगा तो काम मिलेगा क्या? So he said तू आ जा, काम देख लेंगे. I said okay. So I called him in the evening. He said what? You're here? I just like 2 days ago. He said nah, I'm here. I said come on. So I reached the studio, and there was this gentleman called Robbie sitting there, and he introduced me and he says, you know, Madhushri, the singer, she wants to do an album, and just figure it out, figure your monies out, and start. So so the day I landed here, the next day I started working on a project, and fortunately I've always had something or the other to do during all my years in Bombay now.
That was a really, really good luck thing, right, for you?
Yeah. I've been extremely touchwood. I've been extremely lucky with people. I've been extremely lucky with the projects. I've gotten some great people to work with in my life, and people to help me out, people to guide me, people to push me forward. So I just wish everybody, at least that amount of luck everybody should have.
So you always focused on working on your craft, make it so good, so damn good that you have enough work all the time. And when you were earning, were you consciously investing into gear, or were you buying because it's lovely to buy another keyboard? Or were you putting money aside? What was your system like with your incomes?
Putting money aside happened much later in life, when I realized that, okay, there could be days when you don't have any money, or there could be days when you worked on a project and it's gone on for so long that you have no money left. That's when I started putting money. But when it came to gear, it comes out of a place of extreme greed. And honestly speaking, I know of people who've got one keyboard and like one little analog keyboard or analog synth, and they'll kick your ass day in, day out. They are so fucking good at this shit. We are okay. Like, again, you buy a piece of gear, you want to learn it and you want to explore it. But again, like I told you, the kind of job, especially that I am into, and it's more like a service industry. Somebody comes up with a composition and an idea, and then I bring whatever I can to that thing. So there's hardly ever a chance for me to actually explore all the gear that I own. But I think I bought all this gear A to improve my sound, and B to make myself aware कि इतना पैसा खर्च करा है कि अब सुबह उठ के काम पे जाना है. मतलब अभी ये नहीं कि मतलब खर्च कर लिया तो अभी घर पे बैठो, अभी ये सब पैसे चुकाने भी है लोगों के, तो वो सब भी.
So when it comes to उठ के काम पे जाना है, do you, without fail, if there is work, if there is no work, you will make sure that you are sitting at your work chair and you're making or learning something every day?
I try to. I really do try to. That's what I was talking to you about, like with people like Samiruddin and Tanuj, right? And a lot of other friends. that they have this self-driving mechanism where I don't know how they do it. I've asked them. I don't think they can explain it too, because it differs from person to person. Like you, like for that matter, you, like I don't know how you get that thing to get up in the morning, practice bass, and like put out a lesson. I just don't know how you do it. For me, I'm the laziest fucking person that I know of.
No, but
Matlab,
still you produce a lot of content, by the way. I mean, you keep calling yourself lazy, but I think you're the most hardworking guys I've seen in a really, really long time.
मुझे काम दे दो तो मैं फिर सारे टाइम काम करता रह सकता हूँ, बट आई हैव टू बी आंसरेबल टू समबडी, लाइक नॉट, मतलब आई हेट बीइंग answerable to anybody. I have to be responsible for something. Like let's
You
put
need
it
a
like
deadline, basically.
I need a deadline, and by working with me, you must have understood we together have achieved some impossible deadlines.
That's
Matlab, I can
true.
put it out there. I don't think many people can achieve those kind of deadlines with the kind of stuff that we've done.
Yes.
मतलब I am extremely proud of some of that stuff, because कहाँ से आप आज बैठे हो, आपको कल सुबह 3 गाने डिलीवर करने हैं, एवरीबडी हैज टू प्ले लाइव, द न्यू अरेंजमेंट हैज टू बी लॉक्ड इन, कैसे करोगे?
हाँ.
तो वो सब करा ही है हम लोगों ने, 40 गाने 4 दिन में हम लोगों ने रिकॉर्ड करी बैठ के, with the whole band playing together.
That's true.
So something like that, it drives me, like, you know, then I know that there is a responsibility, and I cannot get up in the morning and say कि अच्छा हाँ कर लेंगे, मतलब that's just stupid for me. Because I told my dad told me rather कि जा रहा है वापस मत आना, मतलब ये कह के कि मेरे से नहीं हो रहा.
हाँ.
So I said अच्छा ठीक है, अब जाके कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. So but it's a good thing that I feel responsible for projects that I get, and I work hard at them. At the same time, I think it's and because the first ever job that I did when I was 11 years old, I got paid for it. तो तब से ऐसा हाल है कि जब तक कोई पैसे नहीं देगा या कोई मतलब कुछ उसमें मिलेगा नहीं तो मैं काम नहीं करूंगा. तो वो सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. सेल्फ मोटिवेटिंग फॉर माई सेल्फ टू गेट अप, ओपन माई कंप्यूटर, like switch it on and put some material in it and just like feel good about it. It's not happened to me in a long time. I struggle with it, but yet again, it's a very important factor of growing as a musician. More than a musician, a professional working musician. You need to keep your skills sharp, your tools ready.
Right.
And
constantly upgrade, right, all the time.
I struggle with it, but let's see. मतलब रोज की बात है, तो ये lifelong struggle है, चलेगा अभी.
Very interesting here. Very, very cool. So, when you're thinking of like the future, for example, if in the days to come there is no work that is being given to you, is there any backup plan you have for yourself in terms of creating work without anybody giving you work or giving you deadlines?
I have been trying to like read about putting yourself out there, putting your own material out there, and how you can monetize it, how you can basically turn it into a profit. And till now, again, the problem is I'm not a composer. Like I have composed, yeah, for sure, but I'm not like a regular composer who gets up in the morning and makes a new song every day, right? I'm not a singer either. That I'll get up and I'll sing the song and I'm done with it. Like, and during the course of the time when I've done a lot of gigs as a musical director, I've come across great singers also. But then again, they have their own this thing. So I have been a little confused about the whole concept of a very good friend of mine, Vivek Rajagopalan, is starting something. I hope it flies and it does really well. Where they're putting an online gig platform where you can come and perform online and get paid for it, right?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out these things. I'm really not sure how it's going to pan out. I'm hoping that we all get back to our normal lives and start working the way we used to. But if it comes to this, I don't think there's any other option but then rather than to make your own material and put it out there with. And in my case, I'll have to collaborate with a lot of people and figure out if it gets monetized, if there is any money coming in.
Right.
How it's going to benefit each and every one of us.
Right.
Because we are all, especially session guys, now like session guys like me, we're also used to getting paid for it right then and there.
Yes.
We know the value attached to our time put in.
Right.
So if I put in 2 days to do a song, I know that this much is going to come in, right? This much is going to get transferred to my account. But when you start putting out your own material, when you like make a YouTube channel, look for subscribers, you don't know where it's going.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of study that goes behind it.
And you've done a lot of it, and
I'm still educating myself as much as I can about it, and end of the day, more than the monetization aspect, it's about adding value to somebody's life. If you solve somebody's problem, if you uh, are able to, create or generate something which genuinely helps somebody out. I mean, there's so many things that you can put out there, but it's not 100% sure that it will help somebody out. So
Yeah.
just trying to, ask people, figuring it out what they actually want, and then giving them that to help or solve their problem. I mean, I just finished reading a book. It's called Non-Bullshit Innovation, and very interesting book. It's basically talking about these companies who kind of become incubators for smaller companies, which destroy them. So, like for example, Hotstar was created after the understanding that online streaming will be the biggest thing in the days to come. When this Hotstar thing becomes bigger, will it destroy Star TV? Yes, it will, but it has to. So, a lot
Mm.
of companies are looking forward much ahead in the future, figuring out what is it that's going to come. So, instead of somebody making another company and destroying their own company, they create another small company and destroy their own company, and they keep multiplying from there. So, what I'm trying to get at is that we as musicians are facing this issue where something that was being developed for years together suddenly is getting destroyed.
Yeah.
But when you see history, like I was reading about the Tata Group and everything, they have been facing so many issues in so many years of running the business. They've been before independence, and they've just been here forever. They
Mm.
have seen all kinds of recessions, all kinds of dot-com bubbles, and all that stuff they've seen, but
And so,
and survive. So constantly, like for example, in the middle, what happened was that when there was a time when imports weren't allowed, when India
mm.
got independent, and all these companies who were manufacturing in India, they used to think they make the best products ever because everybody used to buy them. And then imports were allowed. And these companies, a lot of them, they had to shut down because now there is competition. There is a much better product available for much lesser money.
Yeah.
So then companies like Tata, they innovate. They come up with bigger companies. They come up with more ideas. And they, of course, they stick around. What I'm trying to say is that for musicians, I don't know what it's going to be next. I mean, what you're talking about, like an online gigging platform where everybody comes together and gigs and
Mm.
is paid for that, sounds like a great idea. But also, I mean, the monetization aspect is somehow shifting to a lot to suddenly moving towards teaching. Now, what scares me the most is that if people take students on board and tomorrow everything becomes normal, what
Mm.
happens to those students? Suddenly some people might be left halfway now because you have something that is back in action and you're busy gigging again.
Can't abandon your teaching gig and just go and leave all the students and just go and gig again.
I mean, I just worry about it a little bit. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope everybody functions to the best of their capacity as to, balancing that, okay, I can gig and teach 5 students. So I shouldn't take 50 on board because everybody wants to study with me. So that
Yeah.
is that is a factor of worry for me. Adi, I wanted to ask you about creating Noisebox and when that transition happened. So you are a music producer who moved from Delhi to Bombay. Why was
Yeah.
this need for creating a company, and why did you actually create a brand like that for yourself?
So, Noisebox, see, the idea of the company was always there, that I wanted to be in a position where I remember, like when we were, like I told you, I had a lot many people who helped me, through my times. And when I moved to Bombay, I wanted to be in a position where, anybody who's looking for work and looking for guidance. The biggest problem that which I didn't get too lucky with, was learning through other people. Like, like you're sitting with somebody and somebody can teach you, or somebody can guide you, and somebody can just simply shout at you and tell you कि ये बकवास है यार, ये क्या मतलब.
Adi, nobody can shout at you. You know that, right? It's
I have been shouted at. You have no idea. My Guruji, Mr. Jaspal Moni, he's shouted at me enough.
that's a different
Uh,
like topic altogether.
I get shouted at home.
That's also a different topic.
So, but yeah. So, like, that somebody could just simply just tell me कि ये बकवास है भाई, मतलब कुछ तो ढंग से कर. So, and a lot of we live in this bubble, right? We make a beat. Like I remember when once I downloaded Fruity Loops, like first time, and I made I put a beat on every beat of the bar, a kick on every beat of the bar, and then I put a snare on every second beat and fourth beat. Like, it started like, and I was like, fuck, bhai, house music. Matlab, I changed tempo to 120 and I was like, house music. And so a lot of us live in that bubble. We make something and it sounds really good to us. And and then you put, and the biggest fuck up, the biggest screw up, सबसे ज्यादा जो बकवास बात है ना, मतलब ये जितना मर्जी इंटरनेट अपने को हेल्प कर रहा है सब कुछ है, लेकिन इंटरनेट की सबसे बकवास बात है कि we'll just put it out there and we have this circle of friends or these people who are on our Facebook and on Instagram and they like करने में किसी का क्या जाता है, राइट? आप like कर दोगे और वो जैसे जैसे आपके लाइक्स बढ़ते रहेंगे. आई रिमेंबर आई सॉ समबडी सेंट मी अ वीडियो, मतलब मस्ती में मेरे को भेजा था कि सम कवर सॉन्ग ऑफ समबडी एंड दिस सॉन्ग अनप्लग्ड, लाइक द वीडियो सेड, एंड द वीडियो स्टार्टेड प्लेइंग एंड देयर वाज लाइक दिस फुल 808 बीट हैपनिंग अंडर इट एंड लाइक
इलेक्ट्रिक गिटार अनप्लग्ड.
Fuck, there were no guitars, there were some really sad synth patches playing behind it, arps and all, and really badly auto-tuned vocals. It was utter rubbish. I remember. मतलब I'm sorry, मतलब किसी ने मेहनत करी थी, मतलब और मेहनत करो, मतलब मैं भी करता हूँ, मैं करने की कोशिश करता हूँ. I do not want to say that your effort is not worth it.
But it shouldn't be delusional. Like because of likes, it shouldn't be approved.
आई थिंक मेरी सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम, जैसे नैट की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम, हम सबकी सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम, हम कुछ भी बनाते हैं हमें बड़ा बकवास लगता है. यार ये मतलब बाहर डालने लायक है क्या? मतलब लोग हंसेंगे हम पे कि क्या बकवास कर रहे हो, कि इतने साल हो गए, दाढ़ी सफेद हो गई है, मतलब अभी भी यही कचरा बना देगा तुम. तो मतलब वो हमको अभी तक दर्द होता है उस बात का कि वी ट्राई टू पुट समथिंग आउट, वी आर सो I think we are a little over aware of the fact that there are some things which are not that great, you know, that there are other people who've done the same thing better. मगर इसका मतलब ये इतना भी नहीं होना चाहिए. आदमी को थोड़ा तो कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए, कुछ करे तो डाले. जैसे आई हैव स्टार्टेड पुटिंग आउट like I'm going to put those tutorials out. It's my effort of like putting myself out there and being ridiculed, if at all.
Oh, they are very good. They are very good. You speak so well and you.
Do you think so? I am so conscious about speaking all the bloody time. But to be honest, the tutorials that you're going to watch, it's a voiceover. I've recorded all the voiceover later, just to make myself sound.
And did you auto tune it also?
मैंने गाने की कोशिश नहीं करी, इसलिए ऑटो ट्यून नहीं किया. मैं गाने की कोशिश बिल्कुल नहीं करता हूँ. मुझे इतना पता है कि मैं गाऊंगा तो लोग मर जाएंगे, तो इसलिए मैं ये नहीं करता हूँ. बट हाँ, so again, so you make something and you just because you like it, you put it out there, right? And then people have liked it, and now you're living in this world where you think what you've done is great. Like there are so many times with very many different guitar players, and I tell them it's not in time, right? It's just not in time. Like great licks, everything. But it's not in time. We need to play it right in time. Like we need to play it in the pocket, right? Because you could play that phrase and it landed on the one. That the space between this bar and this bar, those 4 beats, and the way you rushed or the way you dragged it, it's not in time. It's not the pocket. But because they've learned a great piece, they think it's there. It's not. I'm not obviously किसी बेइज्जती नहीं कर रहा मैं. बट ये यही होता है ना, थोड़ा सा फिर आपको थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस आता है, फिर आपको समझ आता है कि अच्छा ओ फक ये गड़बड़ हो रही थी. बट वो एक्सपीरियंस आपको तब तक नहीं आएगा जब तक आपको आके उठा के बोलेगा नहीं कि भाई ये गड़बड़ है. I have come across some of these musicians in the recent past who have progressed like exponentially in such a fast time because they got surrounded by a few people and they got an opportunity to play with a few people who helped them, right? Maybe not by saying anything, but just
I remember you genuinely telling Anurag. That's what I remember from long ago. I don't know if you told me this story or Anurag told me this story. And when Anurag had moved to Bombay from Pune, he was playing drums and all, and one of my friends, Varun Kapahi, was his roommate. So I would meet him, and then of course eventually we ended up playing together, me and Anurag at The Voice.
And what a phenomenal drummer Anurag is now.
Yeah, but imagine. I remember either you told him or he told me this story that when he played and you told him that what he exactly needs to do to become better. like how he needs to record himself, how he needs to fix this, that, blah, blah, blah. And you genuinely wanted to help him, and you gave him an honest criticism, like productive one, not ki bhaad mein jaye and all that, but the genuine points that हाँ, वो that's your style. That's your style of that's your patch. But then I mean, few months later, of course, the same thing, that he's grown exponentially. He sounds great. He's got this what you call swag in musicians.
So much swag. Imagine that. Like, so Anurag had come to me like through a friend of mine and to play drums on this project that I was working on, and the way he was playing wasn't really fitting the song, so I had to stop him half the way. And I gave him some advice and whatever. And also because ki mera kaam suffer ho raha tha. So, matlab, but I generally liked the guy, his attitude, and he had a sound even then. Like,
but he took the advice home. I think he worked with that for a while.
He's a very hardworking fellow. He's one of my favorite people around. To be honest, like the way he plays, the the groove and everything, he adds so much value to everything that I've done with him. It's like.
Do you know how to say his last name? I want to say
Swangikar.
Swangikar, yeah. Anurag Swangikar, yeah.
Yeah, what a great.
Yes, you were saying.
The other boy, Anurag's friend, is Bhushan, guitar player.
Bhushan Chitnis.
Bhushan Chitnis. Like, you have to hear that boy play. He is so good. And in fact, like, he's been producing for some time, and what great productions, like, amazingly good productions. And Bhushan also came to me during a project we did called Om Shanti Om, and he moved from Pune. I have been responsible to basically migrate a lot of musicians from different cities. So Bhushan came down, and Bhushan had this tone and the way he played, and he had those licks. He had that understanding of harmonic content. But again, there were these amazing timing issues. And amazing timing issues, I'm telling you, sir. And every time, क्या है इतना time में क्यों नहीं है, सब move कर. And his speed of understanding it and changing it, it was phenomenal. Like, the way that boy plays is like, he's one of, like, again, like, you know, there are these boys. I don't know if many people have heard of Bhushan Chitnis. I don't know if many people have heard of Anurag. But I'm grateful to God to have met these people and worked with them. You among Bhushan, Ishan Das, and listen. And when you come across these musicians who are like, who are not the cats, and then they come and they do something. I might be living in my own bubble, for that matter. हो सकता है कोई आके मुझे बोले कि तू बेवकूफ है, तुझे अपना काम करने लगता है, तू ही गधा है. तो वो बात अलग है.
So, this creation of the company, that's what I was actually trying to understand.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So, the idea of the company was always there. And but company का नाम वाम डाल के वो incorporate इसलिए की थी because GST आ गया था.
नहीं, उससे पहले नहीं बनाई थी आपने company?
The company got formed because around the time when I had to get a GST number and everything, and that time my CA advised the company बना लो.
What is the benefit that comes to an artist to make a company instead of running it just under his name?
See, I'll tell you, credits are a very fuck all thing. I hear a lot of people fighting for credit today, which is due also. मतलब आपको आपके काम का credit मिलना चाहिए. But एक जब बहुत बड़ी team हो जाती है ना, and somebody gets left behind in terms of being named. Like, I'm pretty sure I must have missed out a couple of names right now, who I worked with and who've given me the pleasure of their music basically. But जब आप किसी का नाम भूल जाते हो, जैसे Shetty works with me, and Shetty does most of the heavy lifting of all the dirty work, right? Cart पीट ये कर, file import कर, ये कर, वैसा कर, इसको record कर, वो कर. And I'm pretty sure some of the guitar sessions that Shetty has done with a lot of guitar players that I work with, like many of those ideas would be his also, like, right? He's a guitar player himself. उसके भी ideas आते होंगे. एक company umbrella के under में जब आप एक team में काम करते हो, at least that's what my idea was behind having a name. And if you see any of the project that I do, my name is never there, right? It's always the company name. It's so everybody who's worked for the company at that point in time does not feel left behind. And that's why even I don't try my name out there.
And are there any other benefits in terms of bookkeeping or taxation or something like that?
Not that I've experienced, मतलब कोई benefit ज़्यादा तो सर में दर्द ही है, मतलब कि आप स्पेशली विद जीएसटी एंड ऑल दैट, आपको हर महीने आप 3-4 दिन तो जीएसटी कैलकुलेट करने बैठ रहे हो, और
हाँ
फिर कंपनी आपको एक सैलरी देगी, आपकी वाइफ को अलग से एक सैलरी देगी, मतलब वो सब for people like us, for people who don't understand taxation that well, who don't understand bookkeeping that well, it is a pain. But I'm pretty sure there are benefits because my CA told me about them. He said कि benefit है company करने का. Like I got my car in my company's name. I got my studio in my company's name.
right.
So it helps with keeping books. And there's a different taxation policy for companies also. So it helps. I'm sure it helps like that. I'm not aware of it because I'm very dependent on
The
Nat and
CA.
my CA. They talk to each other and get this done. I don't understand shit about it.
So this is your second studio, right, or third studio you have made by yourself?
I have. So this is my completely from ground up. This is my
Yes.
first studio
Okay.
for
And the
myself.
previous, the one that was in
Tilkap.
Aram Nagar.
There was my dear friend Bobo's studio who just
Yes.
gave. So it was on rent. So and he just like gave me the entire place, the way it was built, with the acoustics and everything. Bobo is Amartya Raut, very very good composer again. Like he used to do a lot of ads and he's been doing quite a few films now. तो बोबो का वो स्टूडियो था आराम नगर में, बाहर एक बड़ी क्यूट सी बैठने की जगह होती थी, which I was always fascinated with, and I used to tell him कि बोबो एक दिन मैं तेरे से जगह हड़प लूंगा करके. And I remember I was working on a project at Preetham's, and my setup was all at Preetham's place, and the project was about to come to an end, and I was thinking कि अभी मैं क्या करूं, because working, and now that I'd gotten used to working outside my home space, I didn't want to go back to my home space to
Yeah.
work. So Bobo simply called me one day and he says कि सुन, I am leaving that space because मैंने अपनी एक दूसरी जगह पे एक बनाया है, which is a little more convenient. तुझे
हाँ.
चाहिए तो बोल. And I wasn't sure, so I just told him, I said I'll ask around. He said नहीं, तेरे को चाहिए तो तू बता, तो मैं तेरे को
हाँ.
दूंगा. I'm going to break this place down and I'm going to leave.
हाँ.
I was like कि अच्छा तो मैं काम करता हूँ, acoustics का पैसा वैसा मैं तेरे को बाद में दूँ. He said नहीं. He said I don't want any money. You keep it, लेके जा.
हाँ.
I was like, मतलब, trust me, the next morning there was a truck outside Preetham's place, all my stuff put in that truck, and it was Bobo's studio the very next day. And that place has done so much good to me. It's not funny. It's like, always be grateful to him for it.
And then you moved here after that.
I moved here. The space was, the room was really small, right? And with the amount of gear that I had, and it was becoming a little inconvenient. And then Shetty joined me later when I
Yes.
was Bobo's space. एंड तो ये हो जाता कि अगर शेट्टी बैठ के मेरी मशीन पे अगर कुछ एक्सपोर्ट करा तो मुझे बाहर बैठना पड़ता था, बिकॉज देयर वाज नॉट इनफ स्पेस फॉर अ काउच इनसाइड.
हाँ.
मेरे दिमाग में था कि मैं एक दिन ऐसी जगह बनाऊंगा जहाँ पे मेरे पास एक नहीं 2 काउच होंगे. तो इस स्टूडियो के अंदर देयर इज अ काउच देयर.
There's on the other side also.
देयर इज अनदर काउच ऑन दैट साइड बेसिकली.
So when you're
So I'll just basically the screen around for you to
Yes.
see there's another couch over there.
बाहर भी है ना, ये? बाहर भी लगा हुआ है ना,
There's a
where we enter from.
बाहर, हाँ बाहर भी एक ऐसा बैठने का जगह है. बाहर शेट्टी का सेटअप है. So मतलब शेट्टी के लिए I made another setup
Very
only
good.
कि तू प्लीज उधर बैठ मेरे पास. Shetty has this, so if anybody comes to visit, the person sits out, Shetty, troubling him while he.
So when you're building these places to work, are you putting in the capital yourself, or are you somebody who takes a loan, builds the place up, and then pays back the thing by working?
See, this place, I took the place on rent, and then I put in my own capital to build the entire space. I could have taken a loan, but fortunately I had the capital at that point in time to put in the money, and for me it was better to not take a loan and pay EMIs, because personal loans and all that, the interest rates are like stupidly high. So अगर आपके पास, तो especially for something like this, ये acoustic का पैसा कभी बढ़ेगा नहीं. It's not an investment, right?
हाँ.
तो ये acoustics आज आपने करे हैं, आप अभी 6 years down the line, 7 years down the line, I will have to do, like, already after building the studio, I spent some more money in it to get it corrected.
Right.
Like I had glass doors, which is, एक तो मेरे को symmetry का बड़ा problem है life में. Everything has to be like symmetrical, like OCD है उसको लेके.
हाँ.
So I had these two glass doors which faced right opposite. There was a flutter. Then I had to cover one side of the glass. So already I've done so much. So the idea is कि if you have to do any treatment, unless you're making a commercial facility which rents out and makes money, right? If you're making a facility only for yourself,
हाँ.
right? You could make music with one laptop and one little keyboard sitting in your living room or in your bedroom or in your kitchen, to having a state-of-the-art studio like Yashraj and still just be doing your own songs, right? Your studio is not going to add any more zeros to your paycheck.
Yeah.
It does, right? Just because अगर आज मैं गाने का X amount ले रहा हूँ, तो just because I have a bigger studio does not mean कि X के आगे 2 और 0 लग जाएंगे. ठीक है, X मतलब स्टूडियो देख के कोई इम्प्रेस होकर शायद मुझे काम दे दे, लेकिन स्टूडियो के लिए मुझे कोई एक्स्ट्रा पर आवर बिलिंग नहीं दे रहा है.
हाँ.
In terms of songs and backgrounds and stuff like that, right? If you're doing advertising, it's a different story. You can charge for your studio because the client is going to come and sit and everything. That's a different story. But तो ऐसे चीज में अगर आपको वो चीज कोई पैसा कमा के नहीं दे रही है, if it does not make you any money, taking a loan and then putting in that money in it doesn't really make sense. It's not a great decision at all. तो अगर आपका जितना पैसा है, मान लो अगर आपको एक स्पेस की जरूरत है, you budget, ठीक है, and see what you can do in that budget and make yourself that space. I agree, you need to have a space where you feel really, really comfortable and confident कि मुझे यहाँ पे काम करना चाहिए. तो वो तो
No, I mean it's best to work with what you have end of the day, I think, unless you're
and
generating revenue out of it.
I have done the stupid doing shit and it's never been a great experience.
No, even like because of COVID right now, I had to buy some lights to shoot and all that. So I couldn't buy because of COVID and couldn't order. So actually I just made some lights out of butter paper, foil, CFL bulbs and cardboard and all that. तो वो सब जोड़ जाड़ के कर दिया. And also I remember when I started the School of Bass, I did not have a proper recording thing at all. But then I realized you never have the right gear. It's always the case.
Oh, it's so true.
So what I did was, the first phone I had, some Moto X something. तो उसमें कुछ problem थी. It couldn't record beyond 2 minutes of a video. So that day I really wanted to start the School of Bass, and I didn't know what to do. So I said, this records for 2 minutes. So the first 2-3 videos I made was 2-minute bass lessons, because I know it's going to. So I used to put the phone in front of me, start the timer, and I'll quickly keep seeing 2 मिनट खत्म होने वाले, फटाफट बता दो 2 मिनट में जो बता रहे. तो 2 मिनट में जो बता सकता था मैंने बता दिया. And then from there, then eventually I got this phone. This doesn't work anymore. It's some GS, Moto GS.
Moto
तो
GS
3 महीने पहले ही मैंने कैमरा लिया है. उससे पहले सारा स्कूल ऑफ बेस इस पे चलता था, सारा का सारा. और स्कूल ऑफ बेस just happened on this, and even the editing happened on this, and this is a 10,000 rupee phone, because I did not have a laptop also that was working. And then slowly got some money together, bought a laptop, then got a camera. But just the thought of not having the right bass, not having the right keyboard, the right software, I feel that it's too late now to let these things come in your way. Because man, I was seeing the other day, there was this guy in Nigeria, not a guy but a bunch of people, they do some serious VFX work through their phones, serious ones, and some Hollywood people are now funding them and all that. They've given them an award and all that. वो green screen लगा के पीछे हरे रंग का कपड़ा, और seriously मतलब एकदम ऐसे sci-fi movies बना रहे हैं, dangerous सी. बड़ा cool लगता है उनको देख के. I mean,
it's all possible. Technology is reached there now.
I mean, we can't really make any excuses anymore. It's just a little too much.
मैं कह रहा हूँ कि मेरे को पता है कि मैं आलसी हूँ. I have no other excuse.
Very cool. Acha, so when you moved to Bombay, you were lucky enough. You said that the house was there and everything was running fine. And then when you got into your relationship and you got married, was there any changes in the way you worked and functioned?
So
Did you have to realign
basically
your life and rethink things?
you get a legit excuse to be lazy then. Basically, अच्छा मुझे घर पे भी तो टाइम देना होता है. ये है. Fortunately, Nat is also a musician. Fortunately और मतलब उसके unfortunate parts भी बहुत सारे हैं. मतलब वो and she's such a I love the way she plays the piano and like the way she's educated herself, the education that she has, her understanding of music and her musicality is so far out there than my own. And it's so fucking advanced कि मुझे घर पे इतनी ज़्यादा वो होती है ना मतलब इतना स्ट्रेस होता है घर पे रह के कि मतलब you know I used to play keys. I used to play keys with Agni for some time and for a long time. I was the keyboard player for Agni, and I was practicing and I was trying to get my chops out there as a keyboard player. And when I met Nat, and then I slowly stopped playing altogether. And now if I have to do something, I have to for any of my gigs, I just get her to play. There is Prince. Prince is such a wonderful keyboard player. Ashish, Nat, there's Bevan. There's so many of these guys, and they're so good. So it's come to that point कि मुझे कोई कहता है यार आप क्यों नहीं बजाते? तो मैं कहता हूँ इतना अच्छा बजाने वाले बैठे मुझे क्या जरूरत है यार? ये मेरी लाइफ में जो मतलब particularly which is very what do you call it? Particular to me is basically कि वो इतना अच्छा बजाती है कि मतलब मैं कि पियानो कि मैंने बजाना छोड़ दिया घर पे. मतलब I should see if I was a motivated fellow, I would have learned from her and became better. But since I am not, since I was lazy fuck, मैंने लगा कि रहने दो वही बजाएगी. वो let her play. I'll let it be.
Acha, you keep calling yourself lazy. You also keep saying sometimes that I trick myself into working. Of course, a lot of people feel lazy about it. I also feel lazy sometimes about getting up and getting down to work. How do you trick yourself into working? What is your thought process?
पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे बिल भरने.
That's your trick.
Honestly. So you remember that project we did with Parthiv Goyal? So half the enthusiasm and of getting up and writing those arrangements was because I had you, I had Anurag, I had Roli, I had Sid, I had Nat, I had you guys coming and playing, right? So the idea of waking up and getting into a room with musicians like you guys to basically get something, that is what the motivation was.
So sometimes when you feel that you are not able to execute something alone, is it a good idea to get a team together that inspires you?
It always is. Yeah, so many, see, you know me, I write bass lines for almost everything that I do,
Yes.
like particular bass lines, right? But when I know that you are going to be there in the room, like you are there, or Among is there, or and some of you good bass players, any of you are there, and I'll just make a sort of a line and I'll say, "Kecha, this is the basic idea, right?" Yeah. I don't have to work harder after that. I just have to write the forms. I have to just make sure, and you guys are so good that you will come up with something which is going to be great. Even if you've taken off a line that I have made, it will sound so bloody good and so bloody different just because you guys are playing it. So, idea of working with musicians and with them being in the room, it can take your production, your music to completely different level.
Right. So
I recommend.
Yeah, teaming up. I think it's definitely a good idea. I mean,
it's always a collaboration.
Adi, I can't hear you. Can you say that again?
I'm saying it's a collaboration. Like
that's true.
So you could be the producer, but at the end of the day, if you don't have, so the minimum requirement is to have musicians who are better than you. To be able to take what you've done and make it their own. And that's when a band comes around. That's why you have a band. Right. Otherwise, I could program all that shit all by myself and not worry about it. I could get a guitar player to play a bunch of chords, edit it, and put it in place. I've done it so many times for my for shit that I've done when I've not had access to good enough musicians.
Do you sometimes feel that having plugins and things like Contact and all, it kind of compromises on your original idea, and you kind of change your composition to what's available as an arpeggio or as a comp in the VST itself?
See, it's the same like having a live musician in your room. Like, at least to me, I wouldn't generalize it. But mere liye bhi kya hota hai, if I open a patch in Contact, somebody that patch or that sound will trigger an idea. And limitation of that patch, like it happens so much in orchestral writing. I've not done much of orchestral work in my life, but whatever little orchestral work that I do, it's always defined by the libraries that I have. What a library can do,
Right.
right?
Not
Similarly, so
not the idea that you have, but the library that you have.
to have there are very few people that I know who can make any library fucking do what they want to
Huh.
do. But so the library mostly defines the kind of writing that you're going to do. Like, let's say if you have a library which does not allow you to write like really fast passages, you will avoid writing fast passages for your violins, right? You will probably play that passage, like say a more legato-ish passage, and probably use a staccato clarinet on top of it to do those runs or whatever.
Huh.
Similarly, when you have like say a synth library, a synth pad, but the filter is not analog enough, like to get that 80s retro sound. Let's say if that's what you're trying.
Huh.
So you'll abandon that idea of that 80s retro sound. You'll run with what you have. If you like it, you'll run with, and then your musical idea will grow as per the sounds that you have.
Huh.
Similarly, when you have musicians, like during a ride we had Shivang, right? So Shivang, like the way he plays is completely different from the personality that he is, right? He's got that swag, that
He plays
that
like
thing.
Nate Smith actually. He sounds like him a lot.
Yeah, and he's got that swagger, that it's got that style.
Yeah.
Which if you look at him, you'll say कि ये एक style इसमें ये गलत है, ये picture और ये sound mismatch है,
बिल्कुल
right?
बिल्कुल completely.
So when you had, so you remember that we did Ae Dil Hai Mushkil, and that drum solo that he played.
Yeah.
It's not a drum solo, like it's like a groove which it's like a breakbeat sort of a groove that happens there.
Huh.
And I don't see anybody else doing it. So when I had that idea, okay, let's do something like this, and I told him to like break it down, like, and I remember do this and all of
Yeah.
that. He took that idea, and when he played it, it sounded so amazing. It was like, oh, अच्छा मतलब, then you think, अच्छा हाँ, मुझे भी कुछ आता है करके. But that's the idea. So it's in this case, your idea is taken by a musician,
Right.
and interpreted his own way, so it sounds completely different. Over here, with VSTs, the sound sometimes defines your idea.
Right.
You might have an idea, you find a sound close enough, but then you have to marry that idea, like change that idea just a bit, and change that sound just a bit to like come to a middle ground with it.
No, I mean, what I find easiest personally is just the getting together of people, and of course this whole process of telling people what to do, and then letting them do whatever they have to, whatever they are good at. It just like defines the sound in a very different manner. मुझे personally मतलब in terms of production, no, I feel with whatever skills I have at the moment, that sometimes what my idea goes somewhere else completely. What I'm thinking of, what I'm trying to make, and then this inspiration takes over, yes, but then I realize, hey, but I sat here to write a sad song, and I'm getting up with a dancing song. It's just because this drum was so cool that I couldn't stop myself from writing this shit.
Happens all the time. Happens all the time. I have given up on the idea that I will have an idea and I'm going to execute it just the way it is. I gave up on it a long time ago. I just come and I start working on something and I see where it goes. I have a premise in my head that this is what it's supposed to sound like. But apart from that, there is nothing that I'm like hung up on कि ऐसा ही करना है मुझे.
Are you actively sitting, listening to music, different styles, working on different styles, or is it?
I do try to as much as I can, but again, the love for all the music that you heard all these years, the bands that you love, the artists that you love, it keeps coming back, and then you suddenly just switch off your Spotify and go back to Jamiroquai. कि नहीं मैं यही सुनूंगा आज. Palette cleanser, because suddenly when you're discovering new music and all that, suddenly one song will come and you're like, yeah, क्या कर दिया ये मैंने, oh नहीं, palette cleanser, something to like reset it all. Then you go back to the band and then you get immersed. Suddenly start playing Africa and then you're like, हाँ ये हुई ना बात.
So Jamin we can't discuss right now, right? With the until it's released, the artist on board and all that. We should
No, but we should rather
let it be a surprise.
Yeah, let it be a surprise.
सही है.
I don't know about it, but हाँ मतलब just to be safe, let's keep
And
it surprise.
after arrived, any conversations with Rahman sir regarding, you were mentioning something, I think during the voice, that there was something related to some workshop or something like that.
He'd asked me, but he's a very busy guy. He must have forgotten about it, maybe. But I did meet him a couple of times in between, where he was very kind to give me his time and discuss something project. And by the sound of it, like he really wanted, he wanted to give me an opportunity to be on some of the work that he was doing, but nothing has happened as yet.
Right.
Let's see. I think Arrived was the last that we did something with him. Before that, I had done something for him for Video Music Awards, MTV in India.
Right.
And then this, but let's see. Maybe if he remembers, something will happen.
What is the latest project you are working on right now?
Dishes in my room, in my kitchen. Basically, there's nothing else right now. There are a couple of friends. I just did an ad, produced an ad for a friend of mine, Abhishek Arora. And then doing a couple of songs for another friend. Let's see. That's why I've started coming to the studio from today. We're trying to figure out a way how we can come to the studio every day and still be safe. Shetty does not have a social life, as you know. Neither do. So for us, it is still okay to basically meet up. So he lives right next door, so I can pick him up and come to the studio, and we can both go back. And as long as we keep in this social bubble, I hope we're going to keep safe and not get into harm.
I was reading somewhere, some new research has come where they are saying that social bubble is something they are now doing research on as to how it might be better than social distancing. And they are discussing the psychological benefits of it and all that. So, but it's still in research. I forgot the source of it, but I read it as a short article. So, वो बड़ी interesting चीज़ लग रही है. I think the social bubble concept sounds pretty good in my head.
Yeah. Even I've been discussing it with a couple of friends, and it does sound interesting. But उसमें ना आप किस पे भरोसा कर सकते हो कि he will not break the circle. Right. तो वो बहुत चक्कर है, because कि I'll trust 5 people, right? Out of those 5 people, everybody will trust 5 other people.
Right.
So unless you are very sure that this is the social circuit that I need to maintain, and like I told you, like Suman does not have a big social circle, neither do I.
Right.
So for us, it's easier, right? For us, it's easier. I know that Sumant is not going out and meeting 5 other people. Are you? I think. So he's not going to go meet 5 other people, and I'm not going to go meet 5 other people. So we know that we are in this circle. Like we'll get in the car, we'll come to the studio, we'll wear our masks in the lift, not touch anything.
Yeah.
And this is the best we can do. And yeah.
And you're allowed to work also, right? In some time at 10-15% capacity, something like that.
Yeah, we are freelancers. We don't have a capacity. Like as in like. I think they said 10 to 15% capacity, but we don't have a staff. Just him and me.
Yeah. So how do you get a 15% of Suman Shetty?
Which I think Shetty is 15% of Shetty. अच्छा पाजी, लेकिन ना मेरे को इधर से निकलना पड़ेगा. 9 o'clock is.
We are good. Thank you. This has been very entertaining and put a smile on my face, and I'm sure it will put a smile of many other people's faces also. On many other people's faces. तो हम मिलते हैं जल्द, and enjoy your rest of the evening. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me here. इतने से किसी से बात करी भी नहीं थी मैंने. कोई बात करना चाहता हूँ, but अच्छी बात है. I'll hopefully see you soon. Let's hope this gets over soon.
Yes. Take care.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.